right, now let's look at a project manager who has to handle things stakeholders want to add to the project. Let's see the wrong way to handle these first, then we'll look at a better way.
To the project, so Maggie, why don't you go first?
Oh, great. Okay, I would like to add a training class. It's not that long, but I believe that the customer service reps really need a better understanding of our technology so that when we get a customer call, they can transfer them to a technical person rather than wastefully transferring them to my group, because it just doesn't work. So, I mean, it's only going to be like a 3-day thing, so I just don't think it's going to add too much to the project. So can we just do that?
Oh, I'm not sure that we need that. And besides, I don't think it fits into the customer service project.
Well, I think that we do need it, and of course it fits into the customer service project. It's about customer service.
I think it fits into the project very nicely, and I can tell you from personal experience that there's nothing more irritating than being transferred to the wrong tech support guy.
I disagree completely. This project is already behind schedule and way over budget. We can't be adding this kind of stuff to the project. I think it's a bad idea anyway.
Stephanie, we are always in disagreement about things. This is very important, and I'm going to go to my boss about it because it's going to save us labor costs. It's going to save customer service, customer dissatisfaction, and money coming in. We're losing clients because of this. You're going to get a call from the top floor.
Fine. We have a lot of other things we need to discuss, and I'm not going to talk today about this training class. Okay, Rick, what was the change that you wanted?
Well, I'm unhappy with the network speeds that we're getting from the routers and some of the network servers that we bought. I want to send them all back and buy some state-of-the-art stuff.
Oh my God! That will set us back months. That is a real project killer.
The existing hardware is simply not giving us the speed that we need to meet the demand that we have. Now, you can pay for it now, or you can pay for it later in lost man hours with your people sitting at their desks waiting for their system to respond.
I think he's right, Stephanie. I have noticed in the last 6 months a huge slowdown on the network.
We cannot have another delay in this project so Rick can rewrite the technical specs. No, I'm sorry, I can't see that change happening.
Well, I guess I'll be riding up to the top floor with Maggie then, because I'm not going to take the blame because we're wasting thousands of man hours waiting for people to wait for their systems to respond. Executives have to be made aware of the problems that we're heading for, Stephanie.
Thanks.
Okay, the project manager here got herself into an argument about the value of the changes that the stakeholders were proposing. That's always a losing fight, because what happens is what happened here. She winds up with them going up to their boss, and somebody high-ranking calls the project manager later on and says, put it in. This is not a good tactic, and the result is usually what we see here. Let's look at a better way.
So, I guess both of you had some changes that you wanted to make to the scope of the project, so why don't we go ahead and discuss it?
Okay, well, I would like to add a training class. I think that we need to educate our customer service reps on the technology of the company so that they can more intelligently transfer customers when they call in to the right division rather than to my division, because it's really bringing our labor costs up. So it's not going to take that much time. I think there's a lot of benefit, and I've got the data right here.
Okay, well, great. I think that sounds like a great idea with a lot of good benefits, but let's first see what the impact is going to be, okay? All right, so you said the training class would take about 3 days, so we'll use that.
Yeah, I think 3 days for a class like that ought to be enough.
Good, okay. Now, Rick, you do a lot of training. How long do you think it would take to develop a class like this? I know we don't have anybody that can just walk in off the street and do this.
That's true. That's true. We need to talk to somebody from R&D and manufacturing, and the tech support people would have to put together a program that would allow them to correctly route the people that are being trained. Probably talking several weeks of development to put that class together.
I was just thinking a couple of days.
I think this would be the kind of case where too little knowledge could actually be pretty damaging.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and see what we can do. Okay. All right. It looks like Derek is the trainer assigned to our project, so he should probably be the one to develop the training course for the customer service reps. But that means we have to pull him off the training we're doing with the sales reps, and I'm not too crazy about that, but let's just see what the impact is going to be on that. Well, this is not good. If we pulled Derek off the other projects and added 2 weeks of development and 3 days to the training class, then we're looking at a completion date that's going to slip by 2 weeks. Now, the only way to avoid that is if we bring in another trainer, but that's going to be like pulling teeth from human resources. But, Maggie, do I give it a try?
Well, I'm not very optimistic about them giving us a trainer for that long.
Well, you know what? All is not lost. If you go talk to the executive vice president and just convince him that the training program is worth adding several weeks to the finished date of the project, it might work for you.
Yeah, that's not likely.
So what is the change that you wanted to talk about, Rick?
Well, I'm very concerned about some of the speeds that we're getting from our network routers and the hardware that we've got. I'd like to send it all back and trade it in for state-of-the-art stuff that's just going to be have faster response times.
Okay, what is the cost and impact of that, Rick?
Minimal, $500 maybe. I mean, the vendor will just take it back and sell it to somebody else. So.
Oh, that's not bad.
I agree. But what is the impact duration on this, Rick? What are we looking at?
Well, let me think about that. There's probably a way.
Sorry.
We could probably gradually phase out the old hardware and replace it with the new stuff without having too much of a duration impact in terms of the testing tasks. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you.
Okay, great. All right, well then, let's move on to other things.
She did a wonderful job, didn't she? She didn't argue the value of what they were suggesting as far as adding to the project. She simply quantified the impact. And even better, she let them make the estimates of how much research to prepare the class, how long the class. She was taking their numbers, which again looks very positive and cooperative, and she was. And then she had all the options, gave them choices, lengthening other projects and so forth to make room. None of them were acceptable, and so she carried the day. This is a good job in handling this kind of change. A big part of a project manager's success is based on communicating in meetings with individuals or small groups and in making presentations. Our individual instruction courses give you practice in these areas in live online sessions. Your instructor will play the role of the person with whom you're working. The sessions are a lot of fun and our students and instructors enjoy them. You'll get live practice thinking on your feet and answering the questions that PMs have to answer. It's just the two of you working privately, and if you get off track, your instructor will call timeout, give you feedback and coaching, and then back up the meeting so you can try again. Please consider one of our courses.